Hello, my name is Kirk Setzer. I'm the Assistant Scout Executive with the Piedmont Council. I want to first take this opportunity to say thank you for what you do for Scouting and for taking the time out of your busy schedules to take a few moments to check out our Scout recruitment video. This video is put together by the help of several of our scouting professionals so that we can show our volunteers the process in recruiting. One of the first things I want to do is draw your attention to a webinar that I participated in about a week ago, which included folks from across the nation. It was a recruiting webinar basically on the fall recruitment efforts from council to council with some key points. One of the things that I thought was great about that recruitment video webinar that the national office hosted was something that I wanted to drive home and that we try to drive home is that our number one goal at the school night for scouting is to get those families to sign up. They said it several times, the families are there to sign up, and so we want to make sure that we're short, we're in and out, we get the family's information, and then we invite them out to a PAC orientation meeting where you do all the other fun stuff, which is tell them about your unit, give them all the information they need. Our school night for scouting, we want to be in and out in about 30 minutes or less if possible. Obviously, if we have a huge turnout, it's going to take longer to take up applications. But typically, a school night for scouting should be in and out of the school in about 30 minutes. So when you arrive to the school, what are you going to do first? So you get to the school 15 minutes probably at least early before the presentation. So if you've got a school talk at 6 o'clock, you should be there by 5:45. The first thing you want to do is you want to look for the yard signs that should be out in the street somewhere near the school entrance. You want to make sure we pick those up and we don't leave those at the school and we find out they're there a year later. So we want to pick those up. You may even want to take these to the front door or where the kids need to enter to kind of give a location for the school. Otherwise, you can put those in your car and you can give those back to the scouting professional when you're finished. We have a recruitment box that everybody will take to the school night for scouting, and inside this recruitment box is several important things. First, you're going to have somewhere between 25, 30 packets like this. These are the onboarding envelopes for each family. If a family shows up with more than one kid, we want you to give them one of these if possible, and then there are additional applications in your recruitment box, so you can give them additional application. If they want two of these, by all means, give them two. So there are also some crayons in there, so you can give the kids a crayon if you want. They can do some coloring on the back. And inside of this packet is some great information. We'll go over that in just a second. There's also a pen bag with a square card reader so that you can take square card payments with the instructions on how to do that. Talk to your scouting professional if you have any questions. Inside this is a number of pens so you can give everybody that shows up a pen. We also have Scout Life magazines so that we can display those and talk about that just a little bit during our presentation. There's youth applications, adult application, some Hispanic applications. We also have 3 forms for the Medicaid vouchers. So we have WellCare, Healthy Blue, and Carolina Complete. We'll talk about that in just a second as well. We also have in here sign-up forms. This is real important. We want to make sure everybody signs in so we know who was there and we can kind of follow up with them if we don't get their applications. Hopefully we'll get everybody's application back. And then last but not least, there is an envelope for you to put applications and money in so that you can give that envelope from the school to the scouting professional and we can make sure those kids get registered. So with that, I'm going to take about the next 5 to 10 minutes on how to give a presentation. So first and foremost, as every family comes in, I like to give them an onboarding envelope with a pen. I also like to point out that there's a youth application inside the packet, and if they want to go ahead and start on that, they can, and that will get started in just a few minutes. I do want to emphasize that in my experience over the past 30 years, it's best to go ahead and start on time. I typically, if it's a 6 o'clock presentation, I'll start at 6:05. If it's a 6:30 presentation, 6:35. If you've got other volunteers there, you can ask somebody to man the door for those who might show up late, but those who are there on time want to start on time. So we start 5 minutes after presentation. And you want to start by welcoming. Good evening. Thank y'all for coming out. My name is Kirk Setzer. I'm the Assistant Scout Executive with the Piedmont Council, or I'm Blaze Shiver. I'm the District Executive from the Broad River District. Whoever you are, introduce yourself. Then we're going to go into the packet. You say, if this time we're going to cover the important information regarding Cub Scouting. We're here to let you know, give you information. There's some things in this packet that we're going to go over real quick. So if you will, get your packet ready. You have a youth application. We're going to go over that last, but you do have that. If you've started on it already, great. We have some upcoming activities. Obviously, we have our Rocket Academies. You're going to want to tell them a little bit about your Rocket Academy in your district. We have the Freaky Fall Festival. This is an event held at our camp in Rutherfordton, North Carolina. Every scout is invited to participate. It's October 24th through the 26th. If your family likes to ski, or if you have never been skiing, we have a great ski day at Winter Place on January the 25th of next year at Winter Place Ski Resort in West Virginia. All family members can participate. On the back of that, we have an event called our Cub Scout Advancement Day. So you want to encourage them to participate in that. We have a spring event called Cub Scout Odyssey, and back again for the summer, we have a summer event called Cub Scout Resident Camp. Those dates and those activities are available for any youth that signs up for Cub Scouting. The next form in there is a form about our Scout Shop in Gastonia. Please highlight our Scout Shop in Gastonia because all the sales there do benefit the Piedmont Council. We get a little bit of rent income from them on all their sales, so we want to highlight the Cub Scout or the Scout store here in Gastonia. For new scouts who buy a uniform shirt and pants, they actually have an opportunity to put in their name into a drawing for a potential free weekend at Freaky Fall Festival. On the back of that is how we fund scouting, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The most important thing we want to do tonight is cover this parent information guide. So we're going to spend about the next 5 minutes covering this parent information guide. You want to go through this. It gives them the information they need to make a decision on joining the Scouts. As I said, Cub Scouting is a family program, and we're going to go through this pretty quick. I'm not going to read it word for word, but we're going to highlight the key areas. On the front of this brochure is the Cub Scout or the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, and every Cub Scout says those uses those in their den meetings. The second part, you're joining the Piedmont Council. The council serves 11 counties. We're in Gaston County, so that's part of the South Fork District, and you can see the other districts here. We also are broken up into 5 different districts. We use the aims and methods of scouting to teach character development, leadership development, citizenship training, and personal fitness. Some of the methods that we use are the uniform. And so we do have that. If you want to register online, you can do that down here at the bottom. But we're going to encourage you tonight to actually fill out a Cub Scout application and register tonight. How does scouting work? So on this page, it's real colorful. You'll see the different age groups. We start in kindergarten. We go up through the 5th grade in Cub Scouting. And then our Scouts PSA program is for 11-year-olds, 6th grade through high school. Each grade level is a den. So kindergartners are a lion den, 1st graders are a tiger den, and so forth. Dens meet once a week for about an hour. And then all of the dens make up what we call the Cub Scout Pack. And you can see down here, pack meetings are once a month. They can be special activities like Pinewood Derbies, Blue and Golds, maybe a pack camping event, or maybe even a service project or field trip. But the packs meet once a month, and that's typically in substitution of the den meeting. So the den's going to meet 3 or 4 times a month, depending on how many weeks that they are that month. And then the pack's going to meet once where the kids are recognized for their advancements. I know one of the things that you're all asking yourself is how much does scouting cost? So on the back of this, we have it broken down. The national fee to join scouting for a year is $85. The Piedmont Council has an additional insurance fee which covers your youth. Anybody that's registered in scouting is covered by a secondary accident and sickness policy. We want to emphasize that and let them know that anytime they're participating as a scout, they are covered. That's $15 a year. As I mentioned, we have a Scout Life magazine. It's optional, but it comes addressed to your scout if you choose to get it. It's $15 a year for 12 issues, so a little over $1 an issue. and it comes addressed to your scout. It's written on 2 different reading levels, which is a 3rd grade and a 6th grade. So depending on what grade your son or daughter is in, is what grade level you'll get. Uniform. We do have a uniform. I have on the uniform. There's several others in the room that have on uniforms. The uniform is important because it shows the scout belongs to a part of a team, just like they do as a sports team. There's a handbook specific for each age group. So there's a tiger handbook, a lion handbook, a wolf handbook. Again, as I said, books, uniforms can be purchased through the Gastonia Scout Shop, and the information for that is here on this flyer. We do a couple fundraisers throughout the year. We just kicked off our popcorn fundraiser for this fall. We sell Pecatonica River popcorn. We have a Scout discount card sale in the spring, which is a great fundraiser, so kids and Scouts can earn their way through Scouting. And how can you as a parent help? Scouting is a family presentation. It's an organization for the entire family. We have lots of different roles. The leaders will tell you more about that. And at this time, we've covered most everything in this Parent Leaders Guide. We do want to give an opportunity to recognize the units that are recruiting from each individual school. I would highly recommend that each pack put together some type of pack flyer. This should be a 1-page or at most a front and back so that you can hand this out to all parents. This one even has the pack information on the back of it. It's got all their key meeting dates. So I would encourage you to have that. You also need to have a contact information, and they need to know when their next meeting is, which should be Cub Scout Pack orientation, so that you can talk to the parents more about their roles, the leadership roles that you're looking for, whether it be den leaders or just basic support. So we want to make sure that we go through this. The last thing before we get out of here is to go over the youth application and the fees once again. So as an adult, you need to fill this out for your youth, first name, last name, all the important information. Their date of birth must be on here, their grade. If you want to put the school that they attend, you by all means can. We do encourage that. And then you need to put down parent information or legal guardian information. Right below that, a parent does have to sign this youth application, and then we'll turn that in. Depending on which group you want to go to, all the groups are pretty much the same. They just meet at different locations and different times during the week. So they may meet on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Whatever best fits your schedule, whatever's closest to you is the unit that you should be encouraged to join. The registration fee for tonight is $100. And that's for 12 months, and we encourage you to pay. There are some options for support. We want to make sure when we do a school presentation that we don't have families deciding not to join because they think they can't afford it. There are ways that we can help out. We do have the Council Assistance Fund for families. More importantly, you want to make sure you draw attention to the 3 well cares that pay for membership. Excuse me. So we have well care. There's a voucher form for that they need to fill out. We have Healthy Blue, which actually they have to pay up front, and Healthy Blue will refund them or send them a Visa debit card for $150. So that extra $50 they could use for their Scout handbook, potentially for a uniform. We do have a uniform closet at the council office. So we do have some uniforms available. There's also Carolina Complete Health, and they will also support Scouts by giving them $75, which comes back to the council. So if they have Carolina Complete or if they have Well Care, they only have to pay $25 in order to join. The other money is collected from the council, so we have to submit for that. So again, we want to keep our presentations short. We want to make sure we get the families in. We want to give them the details. We want to really, we're there, and what National is saying from their research, parents are there for one reason, and that's to learn a little bit about Scouting, but to sign up. So we don't want to turn these meetings into a pack orientation. We don't, unfortunately, have the time, especially if we have 2 or 3. Sometimes we have as many as 4 Cub Scout packs at a school. we don't have enough time to give everybody 5 minutes to speak. So be there early if you're recruiting from that school. Have flyers, handouts for your pack. Have a date for your Cub Scout orientation. And we want to get in, get out, be mindful of the school's time. They probably have a custodian or someone there who is keeping the building open for us. So again, we want to get out, give the applications, get in, do the presentations, cover what needs to be covered, and then spend more time when they come out to your orientation going over the pack dues, more about the uniforms, more about the leadership positions. If you're putting some kind of packet together where they can buy the uniform shirt, or I know some units do the handbooks and their neckerchiefs, whatever you're doing, we need to do that outside of the school night for scouting. The school night for scouting needs to be a focus of recruiting kids. Speaking of recruiting kids, we want to encourage Cub Scout packs to do a lot of their own recruiting. We have these recruiter friends where they can get their recruiter patch. We're going to give them some of those out at round tables. Scouts who are currently in Scouts, if they just recruit one friend per scout, we would double our numbers. So encourage your Scouts. Go to your unit's sponsors. If you're sponsored by a church, ask them to do a little pulpit talk and recruit from the church members. Open houses are also a great thing. Getting out in the community and recruiting outside of the school talk. Again, thank you for what you're going to do for this summer. If you have any questions about a school presentation, please talk to your local scouting professional.